Luke, the 22nd chapter, verses 39 through 46. Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray that you will not fall into temptation." He withdrew about a stone's throw from them, and knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. But not my will, but yours be done." An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation." Love in desperation. Quite a topic. I had a pretty hard time wrapping my mind around that. I'm not sure I've actually done it yet. The first thing it made me think about was a quotation from Francis Bacon, who said, "He who hath wife and children hath given hostages to fortune." That's undeniable. If you love anyone or anything greatly, you can suffer greatly. I have seen examples of this sometime in my work. I remember several years ago, I had a patient, a young man who came in for a routine checkup. He had blood work done as he was on some medication, and he was found to be in end-stage renal disease. And I remember that every member of his family was fighting over the honor about who would get to give him a kidney. I also remember a couple who were in their late 50s, and they liquidated their retirement accounts to give one of their children one more chance at rehab. When I was growing up, my mother was a Latin teacher. So in addition to fairy tales and all the classic children's books, we had a lot of stories about the ancient gods of Greece and Rome around the house, and I read a lot of those when I was a kid. I thought the Greek and Roman gods were pretty despicable most of the time in the way they behaved. They essentially behaved like ordinary people who had been given a lot of power. I particularly remember the story of Prometheus, who was a titan who gave the gift of fire and civilization to mankind. This greatly angered the other gods, and as a punishment, he was chained to a rock, and every day an eagle would fly down and eat his liver, and the liver would regrow overnight so the whole thing could happen the next day. That seemed a little more than was necessary, in my opinion. When I read passages like the one in Luke, I am struck by the contrast between those gods and Jesus. Jesus, the Son of God, the most powerful being in the universe, is preparing to die, to go through terrible suffering and humiliation. And he does this in the name of love. Quite a contrast. I came to the conclusion that the gods that people create themselves are a lot like they are. And we can see what happens to people that are given unlimited power. Sometimes I'm asked why I believe in God, why I go to church. After all, I've had scientific training. Don't I realize that it's all a lot of nonsense? And I think, no, this God, this Jesus, are not the creations of humans. I don't think people could have imagined Jesus. And to me, that's what makes him real. Getting back to Francis Bacon, It is certainly true that those of us who love give hostages to fortune every day. But who would want to live in a world without that love, without those relationships? Not me.